It's about to go down.
Getting ready to do some work for a change.
My name is Matthew Acampora, and I'm the physician for Welcome MD Charlotte. How many of you, prior to February of this year, paid any attention to factors that mitigate risk towards things such as viral or bacterial infections? However, now with the advent and the evolution of the SARS-CoV-2 virus, the virus that caused the COVID-19 pandemic, we are forced to take a look at these issues. So let's address each one of them. We have something within ourselves called innate immunity. And innate immunity basically covers three different areas: physical barriers, chemical barriers, and protective cells. The physical barriers are the mucosal lining of our nose and our throat, as well as the fine hair-like projections in our nose known as cilia. They kind of act like a filtration package. Chemical barriers. Chemical barriers are the acids that exist in our stomach. And what they primarily do is protect our stomach from the overgrowth of bacteria and or viruses and even fungal elements. Last and probably most important, our protective cells are our white blood cells. They kind of act like the Army, Navy, Air Force, or Marines of our body, again, protecting us against things that are against things foreign and domestic. Our lifestyle plays a huge role in our balance in terms of our immunity. Things like nutritional deficiencies, exercise, rest, environmental factors, all are interconnected. So if you have any nutritional deficiencies, vitamin deficiencies, your immune system is not going to function, and it does that by actually preventing the white blood cells from functioning normally. Exercise is very, very important and should be part of our normal daily routine, as the exercise increases our T cells and increases our natural killer cells. And environment is very important. If you live in a densely populated environment such as New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, you're more apt to coming down and being exposed to different pathogens. Third is adaptive immunity, and adaptive immunity is something acquired. I'm sure we all have had infections, maybe such as bronchitis or sinusitis, or even the common cold. Our immune system now is trained properly after our exposure to these different types of pathogens. Also, vaccines are another way of creating adaptive immunity. Age. As we get older, our adaptive immunity increases, and one would think that as we continue to age, it actually is better. However, at the age of 70, it becomes apparent that our white blood cells do not function as well as they used to, and probably we have developed more comorbid illnesses. It is really important to make sure that as we continue to age, we have a balance in our immunity. Our body composition. If we are overweight, have too much body fat, we increase our risk for comorbid illnesses. Those illnesses include cardiovascular disease, such as heart attack and stroke, diabetes, elevated cholesterol, even certain types of cancers that can be created from being too overweight. What that does is it just increases inflammation and affects our immune system in a negative way. Last but not least are immunodeficient diseases. We talk of immunodeficiencies, we think of things like lupus, HIV disease, but diseases such as diabetes now are being considered in those immunodeficient states. Things such as immunodeficient drugs, prednisone, a common drug that is prescribed, it can also affect our immune system in a negative way. In addition, last but not least is substance abuse. So if we chronically use drugs such as alcohol or recreational substances, they affect our organ systems. And by affecting our organ systems, they decrease our overall immunity and then increase our overall exposure to things like viruses and bacteria. So in conclusion, I would like to say that I think it's important that we take these various things into consideration as we are trying to balance out our immunity. And in our next video, we will address a lot of those issues. I hope this was informative.